I shot my son on Instagram and she dubbed me.
I didn't dub. I just didn't respond to him. He wasn't my type.
I wasn't her type.
I left him in my DMs for like 2 months. He was friend zoned because I didn't like. He was like, "Am I friend zoned?" I was like, "Yes." I was not into him.
Wow, that's crazy.
She told on herself, bro. You wasn't her type. You still ain't her type. That bag in a few years is what she gonna receive because he's special. That bag made her your type. Ask yourself, if I got hurt and ended my career, would she stay or leave?
She not here for no money, bro. I was broke when I first met her. That's what y'all gotta understand.
When I said he wasn't my type, he was in high school. I was in college. That's why he wasn't my type. He was young.
Wow, that's crazy.
The real reason Travis sat in my DM for 2 months is because he DM'd me when he had a girlfriend. And her name was in his bio, so I instantly knew he had a partner. So I exited the message and he sat there until he was single.
Wow, that's crazy.
So when I said he wasn't my type, I meant because he was younger than me. I had never dated no one younger than me, and he had cheated on his girlfriend.
What? Ma'am, excuse me.
I don't know if your type is cheaters, but mine isn't. So no, he wasn't my type at first off of those 2 things, but that didn't discredit the fact that I was attracted to him. That's obviously why I gave him a chance.
Just stop, y'all keep talking, huh? You keep talking, man, and you shut the fuck up.
All right, so boom, let me first preface this again. I've said this over the course of the past 8.5 years. I've been incredibly consistent. I don't give a damn about what people do in their personal life. However, when you go out of your way to now bring it to the global platform, which is not only social media, but the internet in and of itself, and it comes across my desk, it now becomes my business. A couple of weeks ago, when Travis Hunter played his final game at Colorado, and then the cameras had cut to him and his fiance after the game, in which she seemed a bit bothered. People were talking about cheerleaders, whatever the case may be. I said, that's a bit harsh. He's under a microscope because he's going to eventually go on and win the Heisman, which he did this past weekend. Perhaps people are reading too into things. And then all of a sudden, now videos continually being dug up of not only her saying, hey, Travis wasn't initially my type. You now got people doing deep dives on her background. You got to understand, if you're going to be a wag and the goddamn spotlight is going to be on you, you have to move accordingly. Furthermore, you got to recognize who it is that you're dealing with, and furthermore, the potential and trajectory of their career. Not saying it's a guarantee that he was gonna mess around and be in the league, but he was one of the most polarizing athletes in college football. So everything that you do will be under the damn microscope of the populace. And for whatever reason, over the course of the past 2 weeks, Travis Hunter's fiance has operated as the worst wag in sports. Now, it's on the record, the 2 of them were together when Travis was at Jackson State. Fast forward, he goes to Colorado. They get engaged earlier this year in February. Furthermore, Travis Hunter even went into the media and said he doesn't take photos with female fans unless she's present.
It's a routine, and I make sure I only take pictures with females when she's around.
So it's safe to say this is a serious relationship. And anybody who's ever been in a relationship, whether serious or not, understands number 1 rule: do not embarrass your partner in public. Well, what has this man's fiance done the last 2 weeks? Nothing but embarrass him in public. Did you win your final home game in college, Travis? Go and embrace your fiance? Oh no, you can't get a kiss because she want to make it about her. But I got an idea. Why not make couples content? Everybody loves that. And to make matters even better, how about have her admit that you were left on red in her DMs for 2 months because you weren't her type?
I shot my son on Instagram and she dubbed me.
I didn't dub. I just didn't respond to him. He wasn't my type.
Oh, by the way, let's just keep doubling down in multiple different videos.
And then I actually left him in my DMs for a long time. So yeah, I really just let him sit in my DMs for a long time until I was kind of, okay, maybe I'll like give it a shot. And I texted back finally, like after a month or 2. And from there, we texted for maybe 2 or 3 months. Not really, maybe like a month or 2. And he was very like persistent. I think that's why I ended up being intrigued by him, because he would text me every single day, like morning and night, good morning, good night, even if I didn't respond, because half the time I didn't respond to him. So yeah, I would like kind of just text him when I was bored or when I felt like it.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that one. What did you say? You text him when you were what?
Text him when I was bored or when I felt like it.
Well, that's a little rough. Just openly admitting, unprovoked, that you only responded to his messages when you were bored or felt like it. That's a little brutal, but hey, it's not like you tried to initiate a breakup.
Are you sure about that?
I actually gave Travis the option when he went to college. I was like, hey, like, let's take a break from this relationship and you go to college, you go see what you want in life, and then if me and you are supposed to be, then we'll work out.
Look at Jeff! Oh!
And furthermore, why not let her reveal that you were in the friend zone?
I left him in my DMs for like 2 months. He was friend zone because I didn't like. He was like, in my friend zone. I was like, yes. I was not into him.
But hey, Travis, good news. You made it out those DMs. You're now out of the friend zone. No way she embarrasses you further, setting you up to appear as if you're some form of cuck, right?
And I used to party and stuff, and he would literally drive me, sit outside for hours while I'm inside, like partying, and then take us home.
Why did you feel the need to want to share this? Now, granted, people can ask you a question. That does not mean that you have to give them an answer. Because remember, you're the same one who said the best way to operate a relationship online is not overshare.
And Travis used to be very toxic. I mean, when he was toxic on his part, I was very toxic. So we used to fight a lot, and now we don't fight ever. And I think it has to do with us not letting people in our relationship, us not comparing our relationship to others or putting too much out there where people have an input in what we do.
It's one thing to say something, it's another thing to actually execute on it. But granted, I can extend some grace. You're young. This is probably the end of the problems, right? Well, not necessarily, because Travis Hunter was indeed named the Heisman Trophy winner. And Deion and Shador Sanders jumped up immediately. Travis Hunter's mom got up. Now, granted, I can extend some grace towards Travis Hunter's fiance because she recognized the camera's gonna be on Deion and his mother.
When his name was called, I instantly was gonna, if you watch the video, you can see me like, but his mom didn't get up. So I was like, oh, maybe I don't get up, maybe I just sit here with her. So I sat there, and then y'all said Coach Prime had to tell me to get up. No, he didn't. He said, go get him. Go get your man. Like, and once Travis stood up, but he didn't have to do that because I was gonna do that anyways. As soon as I seen Travis get up, then I thought it was appropriate to stand up, greet him, congratulate him. But then there was a camera right in front of Coach Prime, and I knew they were gonna film that moment, and because of how people are online, I was like, I don't want to be in that shot, so I'm gonna sit down.
Believe it or not, for all intents and purposes, all social media expose and embarrassment aside, I think she actually handled the Heisman ceremony the right way. Now, granted, she could have stood up sooner, but that's just apples and oranges. Her having the wherewithal to recognize the camera's gonna be on Deion and Travis's mom, but primarily on Deion and that embrace with Travis, for her to have the wherewithal to say, hey, I'm not gonna sit over here and make it about myself. I'm just gonna fade into the background because they're gonna wanna get that shot of Deion embracing Travis after he had called out that Travis would be the Heisman last year before he even took a snap for Colorado. It's about them at that moment. So I can extend grace there. Can't say the same for the photo op a mere days later.
All right.
I should stay here then where
You go to the hotel, you go walk around.
Now, this right here is what ultimately created all of the backlash she's been receiving on social media, because you knew mere days prior, when everybody was talking about the way you reacted at the Heisman, you now go to a location that you know there's going to be cameras. And even if there aren't professional cameras that's there, people got their phones out and you'll probably mess around and get recorded. There's a reason why Patrick Mahomes had told Brittany Mahomes when they were sidelined at a goddamn basketball game, Patrick told me no resting bitch face. Mind you, this was at the height of when the populace was absolutely detested by everything that Brittany Mahomes had did. And that's not to say she's a terrible person. Oh no, she was absolutely insufferable on social media. Then you take into account that her man is winning Super Bowls, MVPs, and being the best quarterback in football. All of that is going to lead towards people hopping onto the hate train. In the case of Travis Hunter, you're an incredibly polarizing individual. People already have hate towards Dion, and because you're an extension of him, they're gonna hate you too. Aston Genty had a great season, and people are gonna naturally say, hey, it shouldn't go to you. And then now, here you are, his fiance, having the inability to showcase positive emotions at the conclusion of a game when the camera's on you. Bam, they just found an in. Fast forward a few weeks later, Heisman Trophy ceremony. You don't get up immediately. There's another in. Then a couple days after that, here's Travis, now named the Heisman, taking photos with a multitude of individuals. No matter what the circumstance may be, they got you on camera. This audio, it's not AI of you saying, well, I gotta sit here the entire party. What am I supposed to do? What you mean? He's the ticket. Everybody here to see him, not you. You shouldn't have to announce something like this. Oh, well, I gotta sit here all day. Yes, you do, because that's what comes with the position that you in.
You lack discipline.
Now, in a situation like this, the best response is no response. But then Travis jumps on social media to try to go and defend his fiance, rightfully so, but attempts to do damage control.
You ain't never had no girl. So why y'all talking about me? Find something else to talk about. Talk about my girl. Go talk about your girl. Go find a girl. Go find a life. Stop worrying about what I got going on. I know what I got. I know my girl. My girl been with me for 5 years. Y'all are just not starting to talk about me and just not starting to be with me. Like, come on, man. Y'all go do something else with y'all life. Clickbait pages, y'all better stop. I'm telling y'all. Y'all, if something bad gonna happen to y'all, y'all keep doing that. Y'all better stop that. I ain't playing. Y'all better stop. All the clickbaiting pages. Yeah, when we was sitting down and I was at my puppet shop, we was talking about my family. What was they gonna do while I was in there signing stuff? I had all my family there. And that's why she did. That's why she said she's gonna stay there so they can get stuff. That's why she said she's gonna sit there so they can get stuff, have fun there. She wanted to go back they wanted to go back. Some of them wanted to go back to the hotel, some of them didn't. Y'all trying to make everything, y'all want everything for clicks.
Now, it's noble of Travis to want to go and defend his woman, because what man wouldn't, right? And granted, in the video, he is conversing with his girl. And if you go back and you watch it, there's a portion towards the end of that recording where he does mention family. However, you again have to take into account they're under a microscope. So the mere fact that she would say, do I have to sit here all day or the entire party? Or where am I supposed to go? Of course it's gonna be viewed in a negative light. So the best case scenario is no response. But he slipped up in the midst of his, response to the backlash. Why is that? Because he said he'd been with his girl for 5 years. And because the internet naturally has individuals who are gonna go and do deep dives, well, they did a little look into your fiance, and evidently, 4 years ago, she made an OnlyFans account.
Nah. Guess what, y'all? It's showtime!
You fucked up. Should have never showed your hand, kept your mouth shut, said absolutely nothing, because now they're taking a look at the timeline and saying, wait a minute. If they was able to dig up that she created an account, now granted, they could say posts were deleted, maybe Shorty didn't even post any content, but the mere fact that you had an account that you created, now individuals is gonna start saying, wait a minute, did you create this? And things are going to get even worse because they got other individuals doing deep dive and saying, hold on, wait a minute. Shorty was a stripper?
Now, some comments that just be BS, you feel me? And you just don't pay no attention to. But this one was just too detailed and like just seemed accurate on why somebody would just randomly say this girl worked at a gentleman's club in Atlanta. You feel me? So I told bro to DM me. Bro DM me. And then he sent me her phone number. Now, I'm on the phone with my cousin. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm doing the story, yada, yada, yada. Oh, Gab might be, you know what I'm saying? One of them things. One of them, yeah, she was getting down in Atlanta in one of them clubs type shit. He was like, bro, just if you want to figure out if the number real, put the number in Cash App. Boom, put the number in Cash App. This is her exact number. I almost FaceTime to be like, you feel me? Just to get it, like, you feel me? Oh yeah, this just got interesting, man. As I'm writing and editing the video, I went to go check the goddamn Cash App using the number, and a name popped up. Then I said, I just seen this same name on my Instagram looking at my stories. Too much coincidence. I sent you the text message saying, hey, yada, yada, yada. Do you want to leave a statement? And I strategically sent an image with my YouTube stamp on there and Instagram just so you can come find me. Bro sent me a whole catalog of each bitch goddamn Instagram and phone number that worked at Cheetahs, and I'm going on that verifying it, you feel me? Just so I can cross-reference. But another thing, I had to tie her to Atlanta, so shit, I just went on Twitter, went on Facebook, just you know what I'm saying? Boom, she posting about, okay, I'm in Atlanta. You feel me? Shit kind of adding up. And another thing, man, so when I'm going through a Twitter, I'm noticing that she scrubbed, you know what I'm saying, and deleted a lot of tweets, you feel me, from that 2020, 21, late 21, you feel, era. But I'm looking through her shit, and I swear to God, bro, like, this woman is is sexually deviant, you feel me? All she talk about is something sexual. And I don't know if she Hispanic or she mixed or something, but she say nigga way more than I say nigga. I swear to God.
Flag on the play. First and foremost, shout out to House of Hypocrites for doing his coverage on what transpired. He's still doing live coverage too. Go check out his YouTube channel. But something really caught my attention, especially with the reposting on her Twitter account, because when I went to go try to go do my investigation on the Twitter account, unfortunately now her tweets are now protected. But something did catch my attention, and I was able to connect both the Twitter post and the repost, obviously it wasn't her tweet, but the repost of that tweet, and a TikTok that she had uploaded regarding money in particular.
I have a money sign on my ring finger. That's a Lil Wayne lyric. My favorite album is Carter 4. And on that, he has a song, and he says, married to the money, F the word, that's adultery. I love that song, so that's just, I got it when I was 18, okay?
Interesting, you got the tattoo when you were 18, you're currently 23. Now, does that mean you have an ulterior motive in mind regarding Travis Hunter? Especially given that's your favorite lyric of all time? At least these are your words, right? Granted, 5 years, that's a hell of a lot of time for somebody to grow. 2 years ago, you're retweeting lyrics talking about you love sex, you love drugs, you love money. Now, granted, everybody likes music, right? So that should be nothing of a red flag. However, you take into account the countless different times in which you've showcased red flag behavior. This just puts up the antennas, increases the exclamation points, raises the eyebrows almost through the hairline. It may take longer if you have a Peyton Manning sort of situation going on, but that's neither here nor there. Because of the constant red flags that you have showcased throughout the midst of the past few months, well, we might have to consider maybe you do have an ulterior motive here.
No one will ever know!
And granted, this is all speculation, right? There's no guarantee that she has an ulterior motive. But for those of us who've had the privilege of being in long-term relationships, those of you who've been in engagements, marriages, if you will, you've all identified red flags like this perhaps in the past. And furthermore, you might have seen the type of archetype that Travis Hunter just so happens to fit into. Look at this Instagram comment defending his relationship, saying, stop acting like y'all know me or my girl. We ain't never talked to y'all. Move on with your life. The disrespect getting out of hand. Move on. Bring positive energy, not negative energy. I know what I have and what I need. I love my girl. No one gonna stop me from doing that. She have a heart too. Leanna, I love you. Don't let these idiots make you change who you are. Again, very noble of Travis Hunter to come out and defend his girl, because any man should defend their girl. However, here's where the issue lies, because you have to take into account, why is it that everybody's up in arms? Not just because misery loves company and they want to go out there and just break up your relationship. Everybody's coming out and saying, hey bro, you might want to consider going to find another one, because I don't think this one's going to end up working out. All of the red flags are screaming right now. Now, we would assume that he considered all of this prior to getting engaged. Believe it or not, it actually wasn't this past February. It was just this past February that they announced to the world. They got engaged last March and they kept that hidden, which for all intents and purposes, kudos to you, because social media don't need to know what's going on in your relationship. But when you unilaterally come to the internet and then disclose, for one, hey, I wasn't initially attracted to him.
Red flag.
I kept him inside of the DMs for 2 months.
That's a red flag.
I only responded to his DMs when I was bored or I felt like it.
Sort of a red flag.
Then when we finally made things official and it was time for him to go to college, I offered to break things off so he can figure out what it is that he wants to do.
Red flag.
When I go out and I have myself a girls' night or something of that nature, Travis will drop me off at wherever the party setting may be, sit outside and wait for me. Then we will return back.
Kind of a red flag.
Final home game of the season. I'm not going to return the kiss. I'd rather complain about individuals getting onto the field.
That's a red flag for people like me.
Heisman Trophy ceremony. I'm not going to stand up immediately. I'm going to stay seated until Dion got to touch my shoulder.
Maybe a bit of a red flag.
Photograph event. I'm going to sit there with resting bitch face and complain about having to sit on the couch all day.
I'm out of red flag.
And then finally, rather than trying radio silence, why don't we go to TikTok and attempt to address these
Accusations.
and confirm that they're possibly
False accusations.
You'd rather bloviate, fulminate, and pontificate in a manner that actually ends up throwing Travis under the bus even further.
So Travis, when he first ever DM'd me, when we first met, I said I left him in my DM for 2 months, and people said, oh, she left him in his DM until she figured out who he was. That is not true at all. The real reason Travis sat in my DM for 2 months is because he DM'd me when he had a girlfriend.
Flag on the play. I might have to go get a challenge flag because that just so happens to be red. That's a super red flag right there. You could have easily just stayed consistent with what you said throughout the past months of, well, he initially slid inside of your DMs, you left him in the DMs for a few months, and that was that because you were uninterested at the time. But oh no, you had to go and disclose the fact that he was currently in a relationship during that time. What does that say about Travis's character? Well, you're already in a relationship, so now you paint him as a cheater. And then you furthermore go on to pretty much set up a situation to where, because remember, Travis was a 5-star recruit. So best believe he had a good deal of Instagram followers. And I promise you right now, people who had been following from a very long time will definitely be able to deduce exactly who this individual just so happened to have been who was dating Travis at the time, because you decided to go and disclose.
And her name was in his bio, so I instantly knew he had a partner. So I exited the message and he sat there until he was single.
And why is this important? Well, for one, not only do you now expose the fact that he did send a DM when he was in a relationship, you open up the door for if he happened to have an amicable, cordial sort of breakup, that now gets called into question because what was the real intentions? She's now got to find a way to go find closure. And furthermore, consider the cesspool that social media just so happens to be. High schoolers, young adults, the individuals going through adolescence, the unemployed. What are they gonna do? Go snooping to go find this woman, and they're going to fill comment sections and DMs with, you fumbled Travis, he left you for her, how do you feel about, and now if she was attempting to escape the fact that, hey, her ex is going on to do this and she's no longer in the picture, whatever the case may be, they're now bringing the drama of today to individuals who had experienced homie in yesteryear, all because you felt the need to bring this to the front of the class.
I don't care about what people look like or what they can give me. I date people for who they are as a person, how they honor God, and how they treat the people around them, and Travis does all the above. So when I said he wasn't my type, I meant because he was younger than me. I had never dated no one younger than me, and he had cheated on his girlfriend. I don't know if your type is cheaters, but mine isn't.
Whoa, hold on, time out. Let's go over something real quick. First and foremost, you happen to state that you only date people for 3 reasons. For one, who they are as a person. 2, how they honor God. And 3, how they treat people around them. Then you go on to again bloviate about how you don't date cheaters. But you then confirm that Travis had cheated on his ex-girlfriend.
He had cheated on his girlfriend. I don't know if your type is cheaters, but mine isn't.
That bitch lying.
Is that not calling into question who he is as a person and how he treats the people who is around him? And furthermore, why did the populace need to know this? You could have kept it vague, left him in the DMs, and you were uninterested until you became interested. But you now saying out loud, unprovoked, that, hey, Travis had cheated on his girlfriend, now makes him look like what? How does this make you look better in any particular kind of aspect?
These hoes ain't got no manners.
I don't know. Like I said, the things that I see people make up is truly crazy because it's not what happened. And I just think people are just finding every single little thing and trying to make it something it's not. And then bird brain individuals are just accepting what they see online.
Well, yes, that's gonna happen. It's the internet. You have to know that ahead of time. Hence why you don't provide any form of ammunition for the trolls, the smooth-brained individuals. Everything you're doing now is providing further gasoline to the fire that is since going on around your relationship currently. And granted, the two of them could be perfectly fine. But the populace is continuing to drive a wedge in betwixt you, and the way you guys are operating currently right now is doing more harm than good. Granted, as I had stated prior, she did clear up some things, ranging from what transpired the Heisman ceremony night, where she didn't stand up immediately. Kudos to you. You was able to clear that up, and everything lines up. She talked about the Adidas event, in which she was sitting on the couch saying, do I need to sit here all day, whatever the case may be, and said, well, she was consistent with Travis's, response from, they were talking about the family, whatever the case just so happens to be. But you got to understand, you're under a microscope because of the position that you're in.
Everyone is making this crazy narratives in their head, so I just wanted to clear it up. And that is the truth. That's what happens in all those videos, and I will not be addressing this again. I didn't want to address it, but here we are.
This is shit that kills me when people say, well, I didn't want to address it, but you did. But you did. You didn't need to say nothing. The smart move is to say nothing, because when you become a public figure, although you don't ask for the vast array of criticism that comes throwing in towards you, whether it happened to be warranted or unwarranted, it's what comes with the territory. And it's unfortunate. Nobody should have to go and endure things like that, but it's unfortunately part of the position. So this goes to show that you weren't properly prepped on what to expect and how to handle situations like this. I saw a tweet that has been going viral, and it's still making its rounds right now. We didn't know what Savannah James sounded like up until LeBron was a multiple-time MVP and had a couple of rings. Maybe after the marriage in 2013-14, you might have to wait until, 2017-18? Ain't nobody know what the hell this lady sounded like. Message! And this is not to say that you can't have your own personality, you can't grow your own platform, you can't do your own thing. Of course you can do that. But you have to understand, when controversies just so happen to show themselves, you go radio silent. Don't say a goddamn thing. Because let me tell you something right now. The vast majority of people move on. In fact, they completely forget. Unless you continually add something to the ordeal, they're gonna move on. Something can happen on a Tuesday. 3 weeks from now, motherfuckers will completely forget that shit done transpired. It's happened for years. But when you constantly have different sort of things compound on top of each other, and then people happen to latch onto the controversy you're involved in, now they want to see the entire doggone empire fall. And that's why you had people who are going and backlogging to see if you have an OnlyFans account. That's why individuals is sending messages talking about, oh, well, this individual just so happened to be a stripper. That's why people are able to go easily dig up and dissect every single damn video you just so happen to have posted. There's no doubt in my mind, there's people who probably got screenshots of tweets that you done tweeted whenever you first made your damn Twitter account. And despite the fact that it's protected right now, they just waiting on an opportunity to go forth with an expose. What am I getting at here? You've got to be able to keep your information on social media to your damn self. There's too much oversharing that goes on social, because I can promise you, had her and Travis, although albeit post your relationship content, whatever the case may be, but you keep it relatively vague regarding the intricacies of how you guys got together, when something like this were to go and happen, you don't need to address nothing. You stay silent, you move forward, and you know how you win? The flourishing nature of your relationship. Oh, well, there's the wedding. Oh, there's the first child. There's the next child. Oh, there's the 5-year wedding anniversary. There's the 10-year. You win with the success of the relationship. You don't win with having to sit here and defend yourself to people who ultimately, in the grand scheme of things of your life, don't fucking matter. You yourself said on your video, well...
And Travis used to be very toxic. I mean, when he was toxic on his part, I was very toxic. So we used to fight a lot, and now we don't fight ever. And I think it has to do with us not letting people in our relationship, us not comparing our relationship to others, or putting too much out there where people have an input in what we do.
And you're 100% spot on here. But unfortunately now, you over here disclosing the fact that man's done cheated on his girlfriend. We ain't need to know this.
But that's not how the game is played. You can't do that.
Keep your relationship private. I ain't telling you can't post. You can go forth and post, but don't talk about intimate details. Don't talk about things that can mess around and get misconstrued. And then if those things just so happen to get misconstrued, don't address a goddamn thing. You stay motherfucking silent unless it's a situation to where, the law is being called into question. And even still, you should enlist a lawyer to go and do the speaking for you. Don't say anything, because anything you mess around and say will be used against you. And it was so incredibly easy to identify even further red flags from this young lady. And granted, I'm not gonna make it seem as if she's supposed to mess around and be perfect, because she's been very transparent on her TikTok, on her social media, about the things that she had to mess around and endure. She's been somewhat vague in, different aspects, but she's talked about the unfortunate sort of traumas that she's had to endure. And I'm hoping that she could come out on the other side of this. But I need her to utilize this as a learning experience, and furthermore for Travis as well, because you've got to really think about the decisions that you're gonna be making moving forward, because you've got to understand they both disclosed, hey, we're trying to get married, and the intention is to get married one time. So you've got to make sure that you're 100% all in on who you're walking that aisle with.
I'm smart.
Because Travis is about to make millions of dollars. And furthermore, call it what it is, this appears to be the first real relationship. Because anything that you really had in high school, unless of course it was high school sweethearts who went on to get married, it really don't count in the grand scheme of things, right? And you can see he's smitten for this girl. And let me just preference this as well. He's got outstandings too. I am not trying to paint the picture as if this man is perfect, but you've got to understand, he's the A side. She's the B side. He's the notable one. She's, the arm candy for all intents and purposes, albeit she can be more than that to him. But to the populace, that's all you are from, the surface. But with all of that being said, you've got to understand, you mess around, get married, things go awry, it ends up getting showcased to you that she was only in it for the money. Everybody who was screaming red flags from the rooftops, attempting to warn you about possibly moving forward with said engagement into marriage, is gonna make you look like the dumbest individual on the planet. I think, not that you should reconsider, because you know your girl better than anybody else. I'm just somebody who's reviewing what the hell was going on through the different social media posts and how she's operated since all of the damn backlash happens to come her way. You might want to sit shorty down, get some form, of media training, not only for her, but also for yourself, how to carry yourselves when you're out there in public, so that by the time the wedding comes around and you're officially married, all of this doggone hoopla is in the past and doesn't come up again. Because let me tell you something right now, what you don't want to do is go forth with everything unaddressed, and now issues begin to become prevalent, but you're supposed to be locked in for life, and you ain't got no doggone prenuptial agreement, and now half of what the fuck you spent your entire life building and more is now gonna be allocated to somebody else, and you gonna resent this individual every single time you wake up in the doggone morning. It's not the kind of life that you want to live. There's thousands of athletes who have endured this throughout all different types of sports that can come here and give you the proper guidance of how to move forward. And again, I'm not telling you you should leave shorty. If you want to stay with her, cool, but you've got to make sure you assess all of the possible risks. Me personally, looking at all the doggone red flags that's there, I think you might want to reconsider the nature of your association. But that's just me. I ain't telling you what to do.
Cut that bitch off!
Also, just a little nugget. I found this very ironic because in 2021, Deion Sanders brought in Brittany Renner, of all people, to go and talk to Jackson State about women like her dating in a prominent position, and furthermore, what it takes to make it, to the pro leagues. That last portion, I'm sure she knows from a different perspective. But I found it very ironic that a scenario like this now presents itself under Deion's watch. Now, granted, albeit Travis was still in high school at the time in which, Brittany had pulled up to Jackson State. But with that being the reality of the situation, still, I'm 110% sure that there are the mentors that are in place, because Deion had said himself regarding Brittany Renner, and furthermore, women like this.
I had Brittany Renner in a meeting when I was in college. I might be about $15 million more richer. Because she broke it down. The coldest line, she said, I got more checks in my DM than Nike. I said, wow. That mean they had them.
Yes.
Okay, and she's trying to tell them how this is played out. She say, it's women out there that do their homework. They know everything about y'all because you tell on yourself on the gram and on social. So they know how to go get you. And you thinking you conquering it and you ain't, because it's all a plan.
You think you run a game and they run a game on you.
She was unbelievable. And I'm hoping, and I know, a few guys learned tremendously from her speech.
So I say all that to say, Travis, to Leanna, get the fuck off the internet until the goddamn draft or whatever the case may be. Go talk to individuals who have gone through the process before, been in a committed relationship, engaged, getting ready to go to the doggone NFL. Find some sort of mentors, relationship mentors, if you will, to guide you through how to navigate this current scenario, because I'm rooting for y'all to work. But if in the event things mess around and go sour, you can't say you weren't warned. Damn! Hey, I appreciate you watching the entire video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And on top of that, hit that notification bell as well. For whatever reason, YouTube's only showing my videos to 20% of my subscribers. So if you have already turned on the notification bell, turn it off, turn it back on. If you never turn it on, turn it on. I appreciate you.